Earlier on you said poor performance but value for money. Do you still believe that? Poor performance but value for money. You are justifying poor performance. And I was thinking about this. It's like saying, I have a cheating husband, but he's providing. Does that make it right?
It's not right. Chair, maybe for what I should have said, which based on the discussion with honourable members, I should have indicated that we paid for the services, so money did not disappear. But in terms of value for money, we have done the determination. It's not me that said there was no value for money. It is the person that did the determination, and that report is available in the for committee members to interrogate it. But indeed, poor performance we have experienced.
Okay, before I get into my question, it's just something that I picked up now. The minister only ever called you in for the Medicare 24 contract, nothing else. Nothing else, and because that had surfaced in the media. No other contracts.
Nothing whatsoever.
So before this contract, there was nothing else in the media that popped up?
Nothing else.
That would have grabbed his attention or grabbed your attention that would sort of have an urgent meeting?
I have never been called by the minister or his office pertaining to issues of procurement.
So even though in March 2025, and I just came across this now, there's a headline, accused appear in court for over 88 million tender fraud in SAPS. That was also an article. Are you aware of that article?
I'm aware of that article.
You're aware, but the minister didn't worry about that. Because it appeared in the same platform, public domain. The minister didn't worry about that. He didn't call you in about that.
I was never called in.
But specifically the Medicare one. Doesn't that make you wonder why? Why did the minister only have interest? If he was worried about SAPS's image, shouldn't he have called you in for that other article as well? What do you think? Common sense. And now?
It's reputational damage. It's equally important.
Yes, but it's very simple.
Yeah.
Why were you taking so long to answer now? Should the minister not have called you in for anything else that surfaced in the public domain?
What the practice that he has established to call us when there is anything of possible reputation, yes, he probably should have called us for this one. No, he didn't call us.
Okay. General Fani, you have served as the Divisional Commissioner since August 22, right?
Correct.
Okay. In your witness statement, you state that during your time at SAPS, there have been no arrest for procurement corruption, which you say indicates that all audited and investigated tenders yielded no element of corruption. Is this correct? So no arrest during your time?
I have indicated there's only one arrest that was done for a procurement matter that was concluded before I was at SAPS. For all the procurement that happened under my watch, there has not been anyone arrested.
And this basically means that everything is hunky-dory?
Not necessarily.
Everything's fine?
It's a commitment I've made with my team to make sure that we clear issues and we ensure that we do due diligence. There are challenges that we are experiencing and we need to deal with those challenges. But that commitment I made on day one when I arrived at SAPS, and I'm going to make sure that the people that work in my space do what is required so that we can avert such issues in the future.
But it doesn't mean everything is fine. The fact that you have no arrest doesn't mean everything is fine.
Not at all.
Like you indicate and like you insinuate in your paragraph.
Not at all.
Yeah.
It doesn't mean everything is fine, no.
Yeah. At the end of paragraph 75, you go on to say that you are aware that the audit findings in the audit reports remain a concern and should be eliminated. You also describe these so-called concerns and errors as unnecessary and unwelcomed. Serious allegations of fraud, corruption, and you describe them, you water it down as unnecessary and unwelcome. Is that your evidence?
It's not an evidence, it's a statement.
Is that how you describe corruption? Is that how you describe corruption?
No. I'm describing the process.
When the AG came before Parliament and raised the alarm about SAPS's escalating 3.2 billion irregular expenditure bill, while unsuitable bidders secured tenders, what went through your mind as the head of supply chain?
It's a concern that I have, basically to indicate that even irregular expenditure that happened 5 years before I joined the SAPS is the reason why it's accumulating to the value that it is. What we need to be doing is to intensify our efforts to making sure that we have an engagement with National Treasury for condonation of these, so that the tally on irregular expenditure can be kept. But the most important thing is to make sure that we do not have further irregular expenditures in the process.
So it's just doubling and tripling, despite what you have inherited. You haven't done anything about your inheritance. You just say, you know what, this was before my time.
No, I have.
There's been no arrests.
With regards to
all this irregular expenditure, the 3.2 billion, there's been 3.2 billion. You said earlier on there's been no arrests.
The ones that where the determination tests were done and were concluded in my presence, there has not been any arrests with regards to those. The determination test is not done by my department, it's done by independent department, and in those independent departments, they have not detected any element of criminality. Should they have detected elements of criminality, they would have raised the necessary arrests with regards to that. One contract which was concluded and it was irregular, which was concluded before my time, is the one where the people ended up being arrested a couple of weeks back.
I want to ask you also about the AG's material findings regarding awarded bids during the 2024-2025 financial year. Are you aware that the AG stated in her report to Parliament that SAPS has not implemented adequate internal controls to prevent irregular expenditure, and that this exposes the department to financial mismanagement and non-compliance? I think you answered this earlier on.
I'm aware.
You are aware, and what
Yes.
have you done about it?
We have put in processes in place. I think in that committee, we have National Commissioner has indicated. We have processes in place that we're going to do. I had indicated earlier on that we have set in August and we have devised plans to make sure that there's no further irregular expenditure that happens in the process.
Is one of those processes having a criminal check?
It will, definitely.
It will. You
Yes.
didn't have access to that prior to this. So the AG had to have findings, and only now you're going to utilize the tools that's at your disposal. There was no forward thinking, there was no being proactive prior to the Auditor General's findings.
I think we were selective in the application of that.
You were selective.
And we need to now subject all of them to that criminal check.
And South Africans can trust you in this job.
They can.
So you depend on the Auditor General to tell you that something's going wrong, despite you finding great irregularities and inconsistencies. You wait for the AG to tell you that this is what you need to do.
The AG reported on the irregular expenditure. We had already engaged in the process to make sure that we deal with the issues, and we have also engaged on the process to engage National Treasury for the condonation of those processes. And it is a process that we will finalize, and I think my team is working on that. I will follow up when I come back to make sure that all the condonation processes are concluded, and that the processes we are putting in place now are going to bear fruits as we envisage that they would.
Let's discuss specifics, right? And my throat is a bit sore today. We're actually very lucky. Regarding the tender awarded to, I think it's Fani, Do you recall why the AG found the same bidders were unfairly disqualified and that functionality criteria were omitted?
Remind me which
The tender awarded to Fani, I think it's 191939. The AG found that some of these bidders were unfairly disqualified. Have you ever had that? Where bidders were unfairly disqualified?
it rings a bell.
It rings a bell. Why
Yes.
were the bidders? Why do you think there's these scenarios?
We are again at the issues of bid evaluation committee. Honourable Chair, I must indicate the bid evaluation committees are bringing us into a position of disrepute, and we have put processes.
Under your watch? Yeah?
Not necessarily under my watch. Yes, there has been one or two contracts under my watch, but most of them are historic in terms of the irregularity. Honourable Chair, I have inherited, and I will continue to make sure that we iron out the processes and the issues that leads us into irregular expenditure, and we have started the process with that regards.
There seems to be a lot that you're going to do after this appearance here today.
Yes.
But that's good. Regarding the horse truck conversion tender, do you recall why the AG found that the winning bidder did not meet the pre-qualification criteria?
Is
Is this simply another error, or
Yeah.
you say an
Correct.
unwelcomed error,
correct?
unnecessary error?
Correct.
Sure. You served as the acting chief procurement officer at National Treasury for a year. Is that
Yes.
correct?
Correct.
What is the minimum period required for the advertisement of a tender? You said this.
21 days, legislated to be 21 days.
Regarding the Medicare 24 tender, right? The AG flagged that the tender awarded to Matlala was not advertised for the required 21 days. And this despite you being in National Treasury for over a year. And the AG said it was not advertised for 21 days. And that evaluation phase was ignored. When was the bid advertised and published on the SAPS website?
We do have the chronological issues here. The bid was published on the 31st of January,
That's correct. When did it close?
and it closed on the 19th.
Is that 21 days?
It is 20 days.
Is that 21 days?
It's not 21 days.
I'm saying that this was one of the irregularities found by the AG.
Correct. The bid should have been advertised for 21 days. It is an
Exactly.
administrative error.
So you can't say here and make it seem as if though I'm incorrect. 21 days is not 20 days.
I have considered that it
Yes,
is
you
not
had to
21
consider.
days.
It took you a moment, a few seconds now. Because you almost wanted to make me look like a fool here by saying it, no, it was like almost like thinking what else. 21 days is 21 days. And it closed early.
The insinuation that I was trying to make the member to look like a fool, I have considered already that it was not advertised for 21 days, but for 20 days.
What was so urgent? What was the emergency?
There was none.
Why did you have to close a day early?
There was none. There was no reason for it to be closed early.
What did you do about this? Who was held accountable for this?
I have indicated, Honourable Chair, that the National Commissioner has asked us to put everything in abeyance until the forensic investigations are done. I can't take action now, but action will be taken for
Why
sure.
can't you take action now? It has already been identified. This has gone public. It's in the media. It's all over. What are you waiting for to take action? What must happen?
Honourable Chair, we have been advised to put everything in abeyance, and I have responded to that.
The AG also flagged the award of the panel of service providers, finding that one awarded bidder did not meet the minimum functionality score but was not disqualified, and that there were inconsistencies between advertised evaluation criteria and those applied during adjudication. Is this merely another unwelcomed error?
Correct.
The AG's report further recorded that bid evaluation committee members lacked training. Oh, so many members said this earlier on, and did not exercise due diligence. Can you confirm that everyone serving on the BEC and the bid adjudication committee is qualified and possesses the requisite skills and experience? I think I heard you answering this earlier on, but I want to put it on record again.
The bid evaluation committee is not a standing committee. It is a committee that gets put together for each need or for each tender. And for that, we are requesting that the end users nominate adequately qualified. We explicitly do indicate to sit in these committees. So there's not one bid evaluation committee. There's
So the fact that
multiple
they're not
bid-
qualified, that's the end user's sort of responsibility to ensure. That's not part of your scope of work.
The determination of the flow of and the exhibit of knowledge of the processes should be adequately determined by the chairperson as he conducts the evaluation.
And this is not in your department.
It is in my
This
department.
is outside, but it's
That-
not you. You're not responsible. You're not going to take accountability for this.
No, I have taken
You are
accountability.
blame shifting. You keep on
No.
telling us about.
No, I'm not. I have taken accountability for checking up the knowledge of the bid evaluation committee and any other possible member. That's why I have contacted National Treasury, and National Treasury referred us to National School of Government, and we are engaging in making sure that everybody is checked up in terms of the bid evaluation committees.
I put it to you today. Do you think that you, as the head of this department, do you think you lack some streetwise, I don't know how to say this, because you are in there and it's almost as if though you are walking with your head in the sand. Everything is going on around you and you continue as if though nothing is happening in that department and everything is fine.
Honorable Chair, I need to fine-tune my processes and find out any additional processes that will close my blind
My
spots.
final question. So do you accept institutional responsibility for repeated supply chain management failures since you have joined SAPS in August 2022?
By virtue of my position, I would say it is my responsibility to make sure that there are no audit findings that pertain to procurement processes. And in instances where members of the bid adjudication, bid evaluation committee that has transgressed knowingly or unknowingly, we deal with those matters as they are investigated. I cannot solely take responsibility for errors that are committed in my lies. I cannot take accountability for any errors that were criminal in nature. But I do take cognizance with regards to the gaps that exist in the process, and I need to close those gaps.
Thank you, General. You have failed the accountability test. Thank you.
Thank you, Honorable Chair.